very great morning to you watching Westnile Television. Today is 9th of June 2023. My name is Dennis Oringi. Welcome for the KOKOLIRIKO Live. It is Friday. If you do not know, it's a weekend, and I have to tell you that it's going to be a very long one. Starting today, public holiday, and also start of the weekend. Tomorrow is Saturday, and we shall have Sunday. And so that means that for the civil servants, they are just going to enjoy themselves till Monday, that they will be able to bounce back to their offices. It is Heroes Days here in our country, Uganda. I do not know what the day is in your country, wherever you're catching the show live from. Those who are following us live on the Zuku satellite channel 73. I do not know what it is in your country, but here in Uganda, it is Heroes Day. I will be telling you what Heroes Day mean here in our country, Uganda, and you might be having your own, explanation and also own definition about the Heroes Day. But here in Uganda, it is Heroes Day as we celebrate those who contributed greatly to the government in power. I am talking about those who, fought that liberation war that brought President Yoweri Museveni to power in 1986, right from 1981 to 1986, right there. And today, allow me to say that my father is one of those heroes because he decided to really, leave his home and join the forces in liberating this country. Much as he was one of the low-ranking officers in this country, but I celebrate him this morning, and I cannot really forget about his contribution to this nation. And I think I am also doing something to this nation, Uganda, and I have also to be celebrated, because it is not easy to communicate to the whole world and telling the whole world what is happening in our country, Uganda, here, and what is happening outside Uganda as well. And so, for over 35 years, that old man who is resting at home tried his level best to contribute to the development of this country, to contribute to the security of this country. And so, much as he has never been awarded any medal, I celebrate him this morning. And I also have to celebrate my mother too, because without my mother, my father would not really manage to really, work for all those years, over 30 years in the service. And so I also do celebrate those heroes and heroines who really left this country, Uganda, and went to Somalia, and they were able to really fight for peace to prevail in Somalia. Unfortunately, they were finished. I am meaning they were killed in the battle. And one of those that allow me to mention this morning is Afande Nyororo, who is said to be laid to rest today, and so he is also one of those that we need to really celebrate and award today, Friday, 9th of June 2023, plus those that perished during the LRA insurgency because they were fighting and defending the sovereignty of this country. We do not really take their contributions for granted, and we really celebrate them as well this morning, plus those that have been listed for the award of medals and will be awarded by President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, today. And so, happy Heroes Days. I do not know the person you are celebrating this morning, but I have to say that happy Heroes Day right there. I do not know who is your hero. You know it yourself. If you can hit our comment section on YouTube and also on Facebook, we shall also be able to read those people that you celebrate today, 9th of June, right here. It's a public holiday. We do not have civil servants in their offices, and during a means regime, if you are found in your office during public holiday or over the weekend, you have to be caned properly. What are you doing there? And Amin used to say that those who stays in office over the weekend and during public holidays and they're civil servants, those are corrupt people. They just go to balance books. And so if you're a civil servant, please stay home, rest. What are you doing in your office? Where were you? Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday. And government says it is a public holiday. You have to remain home. What are you doing in your office? And so what are you balancing in your office? So why can't you use the working days to really complete what you're supposed to do in your office. A very good morning to you. Thank you very much for those who are catching us live from different districts that we have here in West Nile region. We do appreciate you, and we thank you very much for joining us this morning. Thank you those who are following us live using the YouTube of Westnile Television. We do not take you for granted, and also not forgetting those who are following us live using that is the Facebook live right there. We thank you very much. So keep liking and also commenting as well, and also sharing to your friends and colleagues in different parts of this world, and so that we grow the family. And so it's about growing the family, and also supporting Westnile Television, the only cable television we have in Westnile sub-region. We do not really joke around. And so I am coming to you live from the heart of Arua City, plot 39A, Weatherhead Park Lane, right here in Anyafio. And for those who have ever known where Anyafio is, and that's where Westnile Television is located. We are not coming to you live from Kampala. We are coming to you live from Arua City, Westnile sub-region, and this is the only cable television that we have in this region. And so I will be diving into some of the local stories that we have for you this morning. But before that, West Nile is diverse. Allow me to greet people in the local languages. Owira for the people of Madi sub-region, and Wainenedi for the people of Lud sub-region, and Mifungonia for the Lugbara. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, and not forgetting my brothers and sisters in Asholi sub-region, which are in Kudiropinion Martin, Wafoya Show Mamegu. And somebody taught me how to greet in Karamojong, in Jokanyo. So I think the Karamojongs, you can really get to understand that your morning is okay. And so I will continue to learn some of the greetings in other languages that we have in our country, Uganda. And remember, Uganda is a heterogeneous nation, a nation with different tribes and culture. And so we really have to celebrate, unity in diversity. I know it is sometimes become very hard for one to understand one another when it comes to the issues to do with language and also culture. But I think the government in power has tried its level best to see that people get to understand themselves. Even if the country is heterogeneous in terms of the different cultures and also tribes that we do have right here. And so that is what I can really tell you this morning. Who are the natives of Ugandans? I think that one takes you back to history, and I do not want to get there. But my work this morning is to give you a breath of every local stories that we have for you this morning. And for those who missed Nilecast yesterday in the evening with Christine Okumuringa, you will not be able to miss the stories that ran yesterday. And let me have these stories running this morning for you as highlights of the events taking place right here in Westnile sub-region. Let's start with the issues to do with yellow fever vaccination. I have to tell you that the Ministry of Health participating partners together with the Arua City local government launched the yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for Arua City starting from 9th today up to 13th June 2023 for all persons aged from 9 months to 60 years at Mayor's Garden in Arua City. I think I have also to see that I received this particular jab of yellow fever, and so that is something that I need to bring to your attention this morning. And so if my producer can drop this story right there so that we get to understand this particular campaign of mass vaccination of people against yellow fever right there. Let's have more. Good morning.
Today, the Ministry of Health participating partners together with the Arua City local government launched a yellow fever preventative mass vaccination campaign for Arua City starting from the 9th to the 13th of June 2023 for all persons aged from 9 months to 60 years of age at Mayor's Garden in Arua City.
I just want to request the population of Arua City not to think twice, just come for the immunization. It is the only safe way to protect ourselves from yellow fever, and I want to thank His Excellency for ensuring the nation is very safe, because if you have a nation which is sick, economic development will not take place. Dr.
Diwale Alfred, the Commissioner Institution Human Resource Development, Ministry of Health, in a press briefing stated that this vaccination exercise is a backdrop of the global decision to eliminate yellow fever as a public outcry.
We are here to launch the yellow fever vaccination for Arua City, and the exercise starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, the vaccination teams are going to start vaccinating the masses in the city. Now, this exercise is against the backdrop of a global decision to eliminate yellow fever as a public health problem. The campaign which we are starting now is what we call phase 1. To vaccinate everybody in Uganda, we are going to move in 3 phases. Phase 1 is districts in the western part of Uganda, starting from Kisoro up to Koboko, and then the districts of Acholi and Lango region. This is the phase 1 districts, and this activity is starting in all this region tomorrow. This campaign is aimed at vaccinating the older persons up to the age 60, while new or younger children who are 9 months of age will be vaccinated through the routine immunization program. In this way, we will have a population which is fully protected against yellow fever as a disease.
Nzukuru Millicent, the Deputy Mayor, Arua City Council, is urging the people of Arua City to use the opportunity to get vaccinated against yellow fever and receive the yellow fever vaccination card for free.
I want to thank the government of the Republic of Uganda under the leadership of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for taking lead to fight any opportunity that could land somebody into sickness or death. Most especially for looking at the people of Arua. Arua City is a regional city. I want to believe as the launch is here in the city, the whole region of West Nile should be covered with this immunization. I also want to tell the people of Arua City, today is the time we are launching for the immunization of yellow fever in Arua City. Let everybody take the chance. Don't miss it, because this is the opportunity to have yourself protected against yellow fever, and to also get a chance to get the card, which in future when you travel you will not spend unnecessarily. This is a chance where you will not pay for the card. All people living in Arua City, let us take this chance and not miss it.
The resident city commissioner Akelo Ali Sakena is urging the LC1s of the different villages of Arua City to mobilize the masses to come and receive this yellow fever vaccination.
I want to thank the president of this nation, who is so particular about health. I want to thank all of us who made an effort to vaccinate themselves against COVID. We always struggle to get vaccinated when you are going out, and you pay a lot of money. But today, we are getting it for free. So everybody should run and get this vaccination for free. The LC1s, please, it is your work to mobilize your people in your villages to come and take these vaccines, so that we have nobody left behind. Let's work as a team and we have everybody vaccinated.
This yellow fever preventative mass vaccination campaign for Arua City that will run from the 9th to the 13th of June 2023 is part of the Ministry of Health's national campaign targeted to vaccinate the Ugandan population against yellow fever. Okumuringa Christine for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Christine Okumuringa, for that story, right, about the mass vaccination against that is yellow fever. And so if you are not aware, you have to know that go to any health facility near you. You will be vaccinated in the districts that are really are implementing this. And so I've been told that there are some selected districts that have been chosen to see that people in those districts are really vaccinated really against yellow fever right there. And so let me tell you something, the beauty of you getting vaccinated, if you are getting into Democratic Republic of Congo from West Nile here at Tivura border point, you will be required to present your yellow fever card. If not, then you have to pay over 200,000 for you to be vaccinated. And so this one, it is free of charge. And so let us embrace this. Let's go to any nearby health facility near us and we get vaccinated, more especially in the districts that this is being rolled out right there. So for Arua City, it was launched yesterday. And so that means that today the vaccination exercise will kick off at different health facilities that we do have in the city right here. So get to the nearby health facility and have yourself vaccinated. Let's get to the issues to do with the garbage management in Arua City. Still, Arua City, once named the cleanest city in the whole of Africa, is struggling now in collecting the daily generated garbage. As in this report compiled by Emmanuel Agele, the city leadership is calling for collective efforts in managing the garbage, since the city is struggling with only 2 functional garbage skips. And so let's see how the city is managing garbage right there. If my producer can drop for us that story, and we keep seeing, and I will be able to talk over the story right there. Let's go, the producer, if you can drop for me the story right there, and we see how dirty Arua is and how poor garbage management in Arua City is in this report. Agala? Jurwa. Not Jurwa. All right, what you are seeing there is what we call the poor garbage management that we have here in Arua City. And so that is how the city has been failing to manage the garbage. Let us hear the Central Division Mayor, Muzaid Kemis, in regards to this.
But the biggest challenge we are having now is the mindset of the community. When you go around, you are going to see ash. You will see pambas. Ask yourself, somebody bringing pambas and throw on the road? The best thing right now that I want to urge the community is to have mind change. People must change their mind. You can't bring ash and pour here. Otherwise, we are going to take very serious precautions. We are coming up with the bylaws to see in Twitter that we put things in order. And this one is unacceptable. You have seen, I have gone as a mayor, I have got around 15 tipper lorries to handle this emergency. I have treated it as an emergency crisis. This is a disaster. I have treated it as a disaster. Because if we don't remove this by now, we will even have cholera outbreak. These people normally bring this garbage at night. Now we are going to have garbage scouts, because immediately after here I have shared with my town clerk, we are going to have garbage scouts. These people will be here at night. We have discovered these people are bringing garbage here at night. They don't bring it at day. The garbage that is generated by Arua City Market is not even that. You can't get ash there. You can't get used pambas from there. You can't get. This is typical garbage from homes. And we had said garbage is going to be managed on a private kind of source. But we are going to be in good line that we cannot put skip in the center of the town. That is one thing, especially here in Doka Road. This is CBD. We cannot put garbage skip in CBD. But we have outskirts where we have put them. But we are going to join our hands. I want us to join our hands together. That garbage management is a joint responsibility. It should be a joint responsibility. The garbage, the primary garbage generator should be in a position to know that it is a role to keep it in one place, and then we have private service providers who will go and pick it from their homes.
The Central Division Mayor Muzaid Kemis in regards to garbage management. Maybe let's hear from that is the president, that is Arua City Development Forum, who is also one of the stakeholders in the development of this particular city.
And take it to the dumping site. This partly we engaged the city when we knew by last year the city acquired 2 tipper lorries. But this shouldn't have been the right thing procured. Under Ushmid and the institutional capacity building, there was funds to procure garbage trucks. Our disappointment came when the Ministry of Lands decided to centralize this procurement, and they procured tipper lorries. These are high bed lorries. First of all, loading it alone takes hours, if not a full day, and this is the challenge, and yet the city has the human resource gap. So that's the first thing, not having the right equipment in place. We only have one garbage truck that came with the market that was specifically required to focus on waste generated within the main market. And those other trucks would have been moving elsewhere to collect solid waste from other places. And so because of that gap, you now find as recent as the last 2 days, including this morning, you find that there was already the Duka Road, which was already blocked. It couldn't be accessed, and parts of the movement points for pedestrians within the market itself were all closed. And you saw a very unique emergency response that came in. They hired tipper lorries from the individual truck owners, and this is costly in the long run. So they justified it that the garbage truck broke down. Well, that was good, but we should have expected an immediate response, not as late as 3 days. This should have happened a day, because we know continuously more waste is being generated. So nevertheless, I want to appreciate the Central Division Mayor, who was able to respond with his technical team, and they hired tipper lorries, whether they were 10 or 15. We know this is already unsustainable, it is expensive, and therefore we must address this immediately.
You have listened to the Central Division Mayor, Musaid Kemis, and also the President of Arua City Development Forum, that is that other Trinity, Caesar Drashebo, on the issues to do with the garbage. This is not the first time that Arua is being, Arua City is being painted with such garbage that is being generated without the city. And this leaves us with a number of questions. One, are the people sensible enough and responsible in the management of the city? This is the first question. Two, are the people of the city educated enough to understand the disadvantages of keeping garbage like that? Three, were the local people sensitized on how they should be able to manage the garbage? But let me tell you something here. The spot where the garbage is being heaped, that road was constructed using Musmit money. Two, that spot where the garbage is always being heaped, I have to tell you that we have the modern market constructed. Is it that the modern market constructed has no component of garbage management? The market constructed has that component. Do you know what has happened to that space for the garbage? They rented it out to the vendors, and the fishmongers have occupied where the garbage is supposed to be generated and kept. Then wait for the trucks to be ferried. And who should be blamed here? Should the local people be the one to be blamed? Should the vendors be the one to be blamed in regards to garbage management? If the market has that component of garbage management, what has happened to that space that has been created for garbage generation? Rented out because we love money and we do not think about the health of our people. And that is what has happened here at Arua Central Market. And for those who think that maybe Denis is full of Owoloko, so let me tell you this. I live here in Arua City, and I have ever reported about garbage management, and I have my facts here. If you think I am lying, go there and you're going to see that the space for the garbage has been occupied by the fishmongers, and it has turned to be a store for your information. And who stores her doors, and who rented out this space that is meant for garbage to these people? It is really so shameful to see a city eaten up by garbage like the city that we are talking about here in Arua City. And kudos to the Central Division Mayor for thinking faster to act, if not because in other places the leaders would face it. And those are some of the things that contribute badly to the performance of some of the leaders. And you don't see them going again to take on the mantle that they have been taking. The local people will say, you failed to manage garbage, why should we entrust you again? And so that is something that you need to do. And if my producer can really keep playing the video on the background, I would love to appreciate. Let's understand here, garbage management is each and every person's responsibility. Look at that. Human persons are the one trying to do that. Human beings. You see that? That is at Lobida Market. I know this is just at the newly constructed main market that we have here in Arua City, and the garbage is being heaped by those who went to school and those who did not go to school. And for how long shall we continue to have a city that is being managed in this way? And if cholera breaks out, then who will suffer? It will be the same as who will suffer. Look at that. It's quite unfortunate right there. And I believe that the state authority should really think about this. What is the council doing? The Central Division Council, the Arua City Council, what are they doing? How much have you allocated in the financial year 2021-2022? Arua City allocated some good millions of money for buying 12 skips, garbage skips that are supposed to be put at different locations. What happened to that money? Later on, we did see Ministry of Land, Housing and Urban Development procuring 2 tipper lorries for garbage management in the city. Is it because of lack of skips that's why people are now pouring garbage anyhow? Now let's have these tipper lorries driving to different locations, and people go and pour. Now you have to announce the time that the people in Zambia, we are coming at 11. Whoever is having garbage, please come and pour. After that, we shall go to another place. But for how long shall we have that? How sustainable is it? It is not. You understand? And so we need to really task our leaders to act. And that is one of the beautiful markets that we do have. But if such beautiful markets with what are being sold inside, and then you come out and you find that the environment is filthy like that, then you even lose morale of going to buy from there. Remember, foodstuff are being sold inside that market, and outside the market you get such heaps of garbage. It is quite unfortunate. I think it's time for us to sit and have a discussion. If possible, there should be dialogue and sensitization. And if the city can invest heavily in sensitization, then I will be very appreciative. And I will really love that. I do not know how much they will pay me for sensitizing somebody this morning, that it is your responsibility to take care of your own environment. The air that you breathe in is determined by you, what quality of air that you're supposed to consume. And so if we shall continue to consume air coming from such a filthy place, then our lifespan is affected. Instead of me staying up to 100 years, because I've been consuming, filthy air here in Arua City, then my life will be cut short at only 70. That means that the 20 years or 30 years that I was supposed to continue living has been cut short by the actions of our individuals that we have here. Yes, you can have your money, but if your money cannot make you educated, and if your money cannot make you think, then it's useless to have that money. And who are the people generating that? They are people who have money. They're not poor people. Poor people are those who are in my villages there. And we have people who have money. They are renting houses. They are running big businesses. They are generating garbage, but they don't want to manage garbage. Should the city come out with a bylaw that whoever is having a shop or a home should have garbage, the dustbin? Or all villages or all cells in the city should have skips. Let it be a policy. I love the military, the soldiers. In the barracks, you don't joke around. And if they find that you don't have dustbin at your home, you are arrested. You go and slash for the government. You go and service. Why can't we do that? Can we begin arresting people? Take them in. I love what happens in Zimbabwe and Zambia. more especially Zambia, Burkina Faso. You don't joke around with the issue of garbage there. You find that you go to the court administration and you find somebody, magistrate in charge of garbage. There's a magistrate in charge of alcohol. If they find that you don't have dustbin, you are just arrested, taken straight to the magistrate. And why have you brought him? This person is not having what? Dustbin. Then you see that you are just put for 2 weeks. First work for the government. You understand? At least the chicken thieves should be released. And we replace the chicken thieves with these people who are failing to manage the environment. And so I think we have still a long way to go for us to have a clean city. Arua, when it was still a municipality, was recognized internationally as the cleanest town in Africa. But now Arua is the dirtiest city in Africa. Start right from the entrance to the city. See how people are managing garbage. Drive through the streets that we have. Even these beautiful streets that have been furnished with garbage skips. People don't want to use the skips. People just want to pour anyhow. And then they brag around that, I live in a city. I live in a city. I think there's no need for you even to brag around to your village mates that you live in a city if you cannot manage garbage. And that tells me the quality of education that we get from these schools. What are we learning? If you can just come back and you cannot really reason that what you're doing is not right, then what kind of education have we received? Let me stop there. The message has gone to those who have listened and have watched. They will be able to act. Let's get more from the local stories. You have to know that patients now have to pay some fees to access services after Ministry of Health has slapped user fees on access to computed tomography, commonly known as the CT scan services, and has ordered all the 14 regional referral hospitals we have in this country, Uganda, more especially the directors, to enforce this for the sustainability of services. And so according to the ministry, this will help in extending the lifespan of the machines as the country moves on financing our own projects.
The Ministry of Health has directed all the 14 regional referral hospitals in the country to enforce cost sharing for access to the services at the computed tomography services, commonly known as CT scan, with the government for the extended lifespan of the machines. Dr. Diana Twin, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, in her letter dated 2nd of June 2023 to all the executive directors of the National Referral Hospitals and the directors of the regional referral hospitals in the country, says this is to ensure timely purchase of supplies for the machines, as the number of partners that have been helping the country keep dwindling in the sector. She therefore directed an immediate implementation of the guidelines on cost sharing for the CT scan services only with public as guided by the ministry. Meanwhile, Dr. Alex Yantema, the hospital director of Regional Referral Hospital, says they plan to effect this directive come 1st of July 2023 as they have impact on public awareness to this change.
It was realized that it is necessary to have these services sustained, and the services don't need to be interrupted by not having the consumables, or the machine has broken down and we're waiting to repair it. This has happened with some equipment before, like x-rays and so on. So for that matter, it has been decided countrywide that there should be a harmonized cost sharing for these services.
Dr. Alex further explains that the payments have been categorized based on the gravity of the complication a patient is diagnosed with.
Contrast materials quite expensive. So For procedures where there is going to be no contrast, both children and adults will pay 120,000. And for procedures where there is going to be a contrast, both children and adults will pay 150,000. And there are some very complicated scans which are done in some few facilities, maybe the national hospitals, but some regional hospitals may do them. Those ones will cost more than 150, but not more than 200,000, depending on the assessment of the procedure and what it will require.
In March 2022, Ministry of Health procured 14 CT scan machines and delivered them to the various referral hospitals, including Arua, Mbale, Jinja, Soroti, Fort Portal, Mubente, Masaka, Hoima, among others, that offer electronically express services for improved service delivery in the health sector. However, some members of the public welcomed this message with mixed reactions.
And the transport alone from the rural setup is still a challenge. Then where they should be given a duration, a period of maybe 3 to 4 years, so that the people can set up their mind that now, because of A, B, C, D, we are going to cost share.
Will be extorted money, people will be cheated because they will believe that when you come to the hospital, you need to pay some amount, you need to cost share. So, because of naivety, because of their ignorance, somebody will take advantage of them. So, that is another way to say that we don't need cost sharing. Somebody should know coming from home, from the back of his mind or her mind, that he's coming to take the medicine for free, or he's coming to get free treatment. But now when you come here, when you don't know what happens here, definitely somebody will take advantage. Now, it is upon the hospital administration that to put strict measures of how to curb some of these things that may happen.
According to Ministry of Health, the funds shall be collected directly in the bank accounts specifically for CT scan services, which will be controlled at the center, while persons seeking for the services shall only be allowed to present receipts at the facilities to avoid cases of extortion. Frederick Dramadri, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
Thank you very much, Frederick Dramadri, for that report about the issues to do with patients to really, pay partly fees for accessing services of the CT scan right there. And so there's nothing for free. That's something that I need to tell you. Even the UPE, the government thinks about, you have to pay something. Even your universal secondary education, they told us, you will study for free. We joined senior 1, we were very happy, we finished. After finishing, we joined senior 2. They started telling us that we should pay 28,000. But right now, let me tell you, if you don't have 500,000, in that same school that I studied for free in senior 1 because of USE as one of the pioneer students, you have to really pay now heavily. And so there's nothing for free in this country. And so this should really go to Ugandans that please, you will pay. Because the government is looking at also cutting costs and also, financing its own projects here in our country, Uganda. And so we shall be able to, case by case, we shall be paying to see that we continue to enjoy the services that are being offered right there. And so I think you have heard from different stakeholders their say about this particular directive. And so we leave it to the decision makers and our members of parliament to have a discussion. And I do not know whether members of parliament were consulted on this. If not, I think the MPs will also have some deliberations to see how the poor people are also captured in this service of the CT scan, or the services of the CT scans. Let's talk business this morning. Business entrepreneurs, majorly women in Arua City, have been equipped with the knowledge on how they can penetrate into the world market. The women were facilitated with the support from the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and funding from UNDP, right there. So let's have more on this story. All right, we do apologize for that technical glitch. I think the producer is working around to see that this story comes up right there for you. And so you have to know that if you're a woman and you want to penetrate the world market, you have to get closer to your Chamber of Commerce. And these are the body that helps a lot to bring together the entrepreneurs and also the people in the world of business on how they can really facilitate a business properly. Remember, people in West Nile, the majority of people have never penetrated into the world market selling their products outside West Nile. Remember, the honey that comes from West Nile is being considered to be one of the sweetest honey in the world. And so how many women or how many entrepreneurs are from Western sub-region are really selling their honey at the international market? How many have left Uganda? You have boarded a plane with the honey from West Nile and you're a West Niler. You have gone out of Uganda to sell your honey. I want to see people raising up their hands. Unfortunately, I cannot see you. If you are one of them, then you have to be profiled. And I would really say, if you want to be profiled, get to the contacts on Western television, screen right there, and then you'll be able to have the opportunity to be profiled. We have to promote here, and especially those who are really trying to penetrate the world market, the international markets. It's not easy to get that opportunity to really, sell your products out of the region right there. And so the business entrepreneurs and also business men, they were trained on how they can really use technology in really promoting their business and how they can really do the packaging of the products that they are selling. And remember, if you are selling any product and you do not know how to package, let me tell you, if a person who has packaged his or her products sells next to you, that person will attract more customers, because the issues to do with the packaging and also the storage and handling is very key in business, more especially for those who deal in products. And so we have to learn that. Even Anyoya, we are selling, we have to know that for the Anyoya, also, if you're a person who sells Anyoya and you package always, you put them in Kavera and you properly package, maybe in the in the paper bags, people will just go and go with it home. And so how many people are getting into that? Let me tell you, it is not casted on the stone that Anyoya should only be sold using basin. You can also, you can sell Anyoya in different forms, by the way. And so that is also one way of promoting your business. And so I think we need to adopt to that. And also the food technology, the food handling technology is also very key here. The food science, let me say it like that, the food science is very key. I do not know what has happened to that particular subject in secondary school. They used to call it food and nutrition. It is not being taught. I do not know why the National Curriculum Development Center was able to scrap off that particular subject called food and nutrition. That was very key. That was very key in, teaching people. But I love the aspect of entrepreneurship that has come back, and the students are being, taught this. And also I love the new curriculum that is being rolled out, and the current senior 3 students, they are really perfect in that. There's no longer cram work, this is of going under cassava, and then you want to cram the Napoleon, the history about Napoleon Bonaparte, and then you now go, if you're entering the examination room like this, now you only, smell Napoleon, you speak Napoleon. That is no longer there in the current curriculum. I am not a teacher, but I know what happens in schools. And so
men and women in Arua City running small and medium enterprises have been tipped on the opportunities that exist and how they can reach out with their products to the outside market. The entrepreneurs were tipped during the training organized by Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Arua City branch, in partnership with Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, under the arrangement of the African Continental Free Trade Area with the support of United Nations Development Program. The lead facilitator of the training advises the women to adopt science and technology whenever they are preparing their products and packaging them, more especially the foodstuff, if they are to benefit from the international market.
Sometimes you alter the food itself. Sometimes the food itself has to be a certain way in order for it to remain robust for the customer to eat as you transport it over long distances and store it. The example we're giving here is of how certain types of carrots are either smaller or slender and straight in nature, so that the way you package them allows the integrity to remain intact.
It was a moment of sharing among the entrepreneurs on ups and downs that they have been facing in as far as doing business is concerned, and says that they will be able to adjust according, and they hail Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the opportunity.
And then the quality, UNPS has not tested. We don't have Q mark. Most of our product is without.
Also, usually these products, we need to consider the ingredients that we use in them in production, manufacturing them, production process. We need to see what kind of ingredients are you using. Give an example of my products. We have bread, and usually with bread, you have to be very, very careful and keen.
What we are doing is you go and you want to copy what science is doing instead of supporting it. It's a wrong idea. Yeah. You develop one idea and let others support you. Because now you go and start copying sounds and you don't know how they are doing their things, and then you want to make it cheaper so that people buy from you, you are not doing the right thing. Develop an idea. The ideas are too many. I like the Pondu lady. Everyone was thinking, wow, people left cassava this long time ago, but right now she has come up with it and people are going to start buying. You wait, next time when you come, you'll find 3 people are on Pondu. That's the wrong thing.
Caroline Ochanda, one of the successful business ladies in West Nile, is urging the women to take advantage of the opportunities available for the women in business with the different partners supporting women.
We have a lot of opportunities. Palma rightly said it, but the numbers are not there, as Caesar put it. If you have 2-3 people, they'll think these are hungry people. We need numbers. And right now, there's actually an opportunity with UNCDF. And I'll request Caesar to take lead as the person responsible, try to get access to that support, and that is where we can write a proposal and we get this machinery we're talking of. UNCDF does very big things, and we can actually get machinery for women.
From the training, Trinity Caesar Drashebu, the acting chairman, Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Arua City Branch, has advised the women in business to join Chamber of Commerce if they are to benefit from the opportunities being offered under the African Continental Free Trade Area.
The dream is we should be one of the strongest Chamber of Commerce branches in the country. We can do that if all of us were serious. That's why other regions are getting more benefit, more partners, more industries. You go to Gulu, you go to other region. Numbers matter.
The African Continental Free Trade Area was signed in March 2018, ratified by the required number of countries by May 2019, and came into force in January 2021. Dennis Oringi, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much. You have heard from the entrepreneurs themselves right there in regards to how they can really take the opportunities that are available. And remember, currently, Africa is talking about the African Continental Free Trade Area. And this is a very good opportunity for the business people that we have in Uganda to tap on it. And we thank very much the UNDP for really thinking about growing the capacity and also improving the lives of the business people in regards to the business that they do. They do not want the entrepreneurs to remain just in their locality, always selling the same types of products that are not properly packaged into adapting to the changing world of business at this particular time. And so if you cannot change as the world is also changing in terms of business, then you're not fit to do business. You better quit and do other things if you cannot manage the changing technology in business and also the changing minds that do come around with business right there. And so if you're a business person and you think that you can just sit and things will really move on, let me tell you this morning that in business you need to sit down and plan together, share ideas, bring this on paper, try, does it work? If it doesn't work, try another one. You might have a lot of money in your bank account, that I will facilitate my business. My business will move on well. But remember, you need to get more money to supplement the one that you have in your account. And remember the source of the money that you're getting and you're putting in that account. If that source is closed, how will you be able to sustain the business that you have? I don't have any business, but I can advise those who are already in business. If all of us we have to do business, then who will be the buyers? So some of us, we are the buyers and consumers. And so if you are in business, have that in your mind, that business is not something that is very simple. Yes, you cannot run a business if you don't really organize yourself. And so you have to keep reorganizing yourself. You have to keep on welcoming people's ideas. Yes, you can undermine the other person, that what does he know? What is he having? He's not even having, a very small shop for selling only, pancakes. How can he advise me? No, God has gifted us differently. God gifted you with money, but God gifted the other person with the knowledge. And listen to that person with the knowledge and use the money that you have to implement the knowledge that the person has given you and see whether you are going to remain the same. You will never remain the same. And so that's what I can really tell the business people this morning, that you should not be in your comfort zone saying that I have the money already in the account. And so I can run the business even without, involving people, without listening to them. I will still move on. No, you have to listen to them. You understand? And so let us create that environment where we listen to one another and we really try to implement what the other person is also telling me in regards to the kind of business that I am doing. I know there are different types of businesses that we do have in this country, and so you can try this and that. And you should not really just stick to one business. If you think that you're only running a business of honey and you want to die as a person who is a honey dealer, then you will not be successful in this world. Try different products as well, but you have one label right there. Under that label, let there be other products that you deal in, and you will see yourself progressing very well in the world of business. And also, never forget to follow those successful business people that we have in this country. I think one of the business persons in this country that I celebrate is Patrick Bitature. He's one of the business persons in this country who has made it, and he has a lot of tips, business tips for the business, for people in business. So once in a while you can just follow such persons, communication, his writings about business, and you learn from there. There are very many successful business people in the world on international level. Those are the people that you can also rely on when it comes to information. What kind of information do you need to see that your business grows? And so if you want to be successful, try to learn from others. Don't think that you're an island and you know each and everything because you have the money. No, we do not know how you have got that money, but remember, you have to work left and right to get more money. That is period. So let's get to Gulu, Acholi sub-region, and Minister of Health is piloting a new initiative to fight malaria in Uganda. Household champion against malaria is the new strategy brought on board by the Minister of Health, where all stakeholders from household level to national level collectively fight malaria out of Uganda. Stephen Okelo reports more on this story from Gulu.
Being the district bordering Mashon Fall National Park, Noya district is among the districts with high prevalence of malaria in the country. This prompted Minister of Health to pilot household champion against malaria programs.
In Noya district, we have very high prevalence of malaria. On average, I can say, depending on the seasons and the time when there's rain, sometimes we can have the prevalence of malaria as high as 6 out of 10, which is about 60%. Which means if you get 10 people here, you'll have 6 of them with the malaria.
According to Okelo Isaac Wanyima, the Assistant DHO Noya District, in the month of February and March, Porongo Sub-County has recorded over 1,666 new cases of malaria, which is the highest in the district.
This outcome is going to be based in Porongo Town Council and Porongo Sub-County, where we shall have champions at household level. Why? The reason is that Porongo Sub-County and Town Council and the Greater Porongo are the sub-counties and Town Council that has the highest number of malaria cases in the district. On average, we have about 5 people out of 10. If you are to group 10 people in one place, 5 out of 10 will test positive for malaria. And that is what we call the malaria burden. It is at 40 to 50%.
Ministry of Health, together with the health support organizations, is piloting a household champion against malaria in 6 selected districts in the country to improve on community awareness and measures for malaria control vectors.
Here today to launch our program that is going to empower households to take charge of the malaria fight. This initiative is in line with our mass action against malaria, which you have all heard about, and also in line with our campaign for Chase Malaria to Zero.
According to Rukia Nakamate, the behavioral change communication specialist in the Ministry of Health, this program will raise the risk perception at household level while promoting local innovations and solutions in the prevention and control of malaria at grassroots.
We want these clusters to remind themselves to check out for malaria cases in their respective cluster. These will also be responsible for sensitizing their own cluster members on malaria and also checking out if their cluster, if a member of their cluster has malaria, and also preach about seeking early treatment from a facility.
Jackson Okot, the chairperson VHT in Porong Sub-County, says by bringing everybody on board, the program is coming to release them from the burden of door-to-door sensitizations. The local leaders call for more capacity building and knowledge sharing on some of the local innovative measures in fighting malaria.
In all aspects, that not many leaders would think that that is their responsibility. They quite don't talk about it much, and we need to introduce this in schools. The learning institutions must ensure that our children who come to learn must also learn about certain behaviors in regards to their health, not only about the gradings like the West brought for us, the grading number 1 and number 2.
The program is intended to increase access to information and prevention of malaria through household in the community for ownership and sustainability in the fight against malaria. Stephen Okello, reporting for Westnile Television, Nilecast.
Thank you very much, Stephen Okello, for that report about piloting a new initiative to fight malaria in Uganda. It calls for collective responsibility and actions against malaria. You have to know that malaria is one of the deadly, a disease that is really killing people in this country, Uganda. And so we can join hands together to see that this is successful. And remember, Ministry of Health is really trying all possible initiatives to see that, we really end malaria in our country, Uganda. Let's get to that is Nebi Anglican Diocese, the former Archdeacon of Nebi Urban, Archdeaconry, Canon Charles, Owing, yesterday was laid to rest right there in Nebi municipality. Let's have more from Alfred Jawako on this story.
The former Archdeacon Nebi Urban Archdeaconry Venerable Canon Charles Owing was laid to rest today, 8th June 2023, at St. Mark Church of Uganda Ferry. Charles Owing was born on 28th December 1958 at Ashet Village, Ragem, Jopowing, and succumbed to diabetes at Malago Natural Referral Hospital on 4th June 2023, according to medical reports. He worked at Spear Motors from 1978 to 1979 and later joined Navy District Administration. He joined pastoral work on 18th November 2001 and was appointed as Dean of St. Stephen Cathedral Goli on 18th April 2004 and later transferred to Junam Archdeaconry. On 5th January this year, Owing was appointed as Archdeacon Nebi Urban Archdeaconry Archdeaconry and consecrated on 5th March 2003. However, during the burial this afternoon, the Bishop of Navy Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Pons Ozela Winju, challenged Christians to emulate the life of Canon Charles Owing, who changed many souls into Christianity. The Bishop further encouraged believers to follow standard operating procedures in prevention of COVID-19, since many people have forgotten about it.
For sure, we are burying the son of a king. One word, this drizzling is exactly showing it to us. Do not worry if you are hit by rain.
In a special way, I would like to thank Mulago Hospital. Venerable Canon Charles Owing in Mulago Hospital. I got a very good testimony from that facility. To be emulated by all other facilities locally that we have. Whether true or not, that is a symbol that Corona is still legal. Our people, please be sensitive to Corona. The SOPs, you know. Please practice the SOPs. If somebody does not shake your hand, it shouldn't offend you. If somebody has a mask, please, it shouldn't offend you. This should be a normal.
Meanwhile, Nebi Municipality Member of Parliament Hashim Suleiman highlighted progress of 2-kilometer roadworks in the municipality, where he said the work is at 67%. Venerable Canon Charles Owing survived by a widow and children. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Alfred Jawoko, Westnile TV, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Alfred Jawako, for that report. May his soul rest in eternal peace right there. And I think we need to really pay attention to the message of the Right Reverend Bishop of Navy Anglican Diocese, Pons Ozele Awinji, right there. And so COVID-19 is real, and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Thursday stated that he's taking a forced leave and delegated his work for 2 days from the 8th yesterday and 9th today June to Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, barely a day after testing positive for COVID-19. President Museveni stated that he has been very cautious with COVID-19, but recently had to give up face mask because of allergic reactions right there. And so if my producer can really give us that picture of the president, we shall be able to appreciate it. And so President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni issued this statement yesterday, and so he's saying that Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, should be able to take on his duty for 2 days, started yesterday and today. And remember, that means that the Heroes Day celebrations will be graced by the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was expected to really take part in this in regards to really awarding the medals and also being the chief guest of the day of the that is the celebrations of the Heroes Day right there for you. All right, dear viewer, thank you very much for being with me up to this particular time. You have to know that it's already 27 minutes to the top of the hour of 9 a.m. right on Westnile Television. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, I'll be diving into what we have in the dailies today, the Daily Monitor and the Neo Vision, and also giving you highlights in what is happening in the world of sports. Good morning. Let's go for a break.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Gulu, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
Tekina kitambana, nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana, nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana, nami ndo kitambana.
Mudonaba kunyumira wanote wanyuma. Kaze na kula pia katimwe. Tonebya kunyumira dekanzine. Aluwa kiruze kuba zinira mu. Lekanzine, toja zina. Lekanzine, toja zina. Lekanzine, toja zina. Wangano zina ndawa tonywa pia. Amatuki, atongoku. Amatuki, atongoku. Amatuki, atongoku. Ikatuku mini pia yoba.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, well, we're back, dear viewer. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. You have to know that you are still watching Westnile Television. KOKOLIRIKO is a program that comes your way every Monday through Friday, and today happened to be Friday. Remember, it's a weekend and it's also a public holiday. Allow me to remind you that today is the Heroes Day here in Uganda. And so let's get to the stories that we have in the Daily Monitor this morning. Muhoozi visits Ugandan troops in Somalia after Al-Shabaab attack is one of the stories that we cannot miss mentioning to you this morning. You have to know that the senior presidential advisor in charge of special operations, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has condoled with UPDF peacekeepers serving under the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia following the May 26th attack on Ugandan troops based by Al-Shabaab terrorists right there. So meeting UPDF officers and men in Mogadishu, General Muhoozi is quoted as saying, "I have come to condole with you for the demise of our fallen combatants. Let us have a 1-minute silence to pray for their souls. May their souls rest in peace and a quick recovery for the injured right there. So General Muhoozi, who doubles as the first son, told the peacekeepers that the strategic leadership had identified the weaknesses which caused Al-Shabaab to attack and overrun Bulo Mareg, saying these were both tactical and external factors that need to be addressed right there. So he cautioned troops not to relax because of ATMI's draw down, but to instead be more aggressive right there. So the former UPDF commander land forces further noted that withdrawal operations, if not well planned, could cause a lot of damage than any other phase of the operation right there. Quoting him saying that in war, sita hesitation is very dangerous. So it leads to death and eventual defeat. The survivors told me that they expected Al-Shabaab attack, but they didn't react until the enemy reached nearer, and this broke command and control, and that's according to Muhoozi Kainerugaba right there. So Bulumare lies Strait River Sabele, which is an agricultural sub-region in the drought-prone Somalia. Farmers irrigate their crops using tractors and donkeys throughout the night. This reportedly led the troops delay to react, thinking the lights in gardens were from farmers right there. So General Muhoozi has been in Somalia for the last 5 days, meeting UPDF commanders and staff. Survivors of the attack hospitalized troops at level 11 hospital right there. He also visited Somali State House, where he met the president of the federal government of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. His father, President Museveni, last Saturday said the 54 bodies of Ugandan soldiers had been recovered following the attack, which he partly attributed to corruption and tactical failures among and by the commanders, 2 of whom he said had been detained for prosecution right there. And so that's one of the stories that we have in the Daily Monitor this morning. Also, more from the Daily Monitor this morning, dear viewer, you have to know that a man who illegally spent 1 year in jail petitions President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Yes, I think he's one of the many people who have been jailed, and up to now they have not been tried, and they don't know the charges that they have been, slapped on them. And so, yeah, there was a time I visited the Arua government prison. Let me tell you, by the time I visited, there were over 1,200 inmates right there. Different convicts and people who are on remand, people who have stayed almost for 2 years on remand without even being tried. So a number of issues that need to be worked on when it comes to the trials in this country, and also issues to do with the case backlog. The people that their cases have never come up for mention, at the magistrate court that we do have in this city of Arua. And also, what you have to know is that court dismisses ex-MP Mabike's 18-year marriage, and then when Nadutu's iron sheets trial flopped for second time. It's also another story that you can get interested in. Remember the trial of Nadutu's over iron sheets flopped for the second time. I think she has started smiling because she looks to be a little bit happy with what her lawyers are really doing in regards to the iron sheets saga right there. And then also what you have to know is that a man acquitted after 15 years on remand over murder. Somebody has been released, over the issue of murder. And then Luero veterans families cry for over unfulfilled pledges. And remember, the National Heroes Day celebration is taking place in Luero, and so the Luero veterans families cry for over unfulfilled pledges is also what you need to know right there. And also in Bukedea, remember there is LC5 by-election that is going on in Bukedea, and so the Forum for Democratic Change has challenged nomination of NRM candidate in Bukedea. LC5 by-election is what you need to know right there. And so let me give you more stories on this. You have to know that the former Forum for Democratic Change, a party has challenged the nomination of the National Resistance Movement, candidate in Bukedea LC5 by election scheduled for next week. In their petition dated June 7th, 2023, addressed to the Chairman Electoral Commission, FDC contends that the NRM candidate, Mary Akol, did not submit the required academic documents during her nomination and should therefore be removed from the race. Akol was duly nominated on Monday, June 5th by Bukedea returning officer Suleiman Kato. Others cleared by the Electoral Commission ran for the same seat which fell vacant following the death of Moses Olemukan in December last year include that is Lokwisk, Teyosius Bukalalin, an independent, and FDC's Oita Sam Odere. However, FDC says a call only presented a plain diploma certificate on social work and social administration from Maclan Institute of Business and Management without a certificate from the National Council of Higher Education to confirm whether the academic paper presented is an equivalent of advanced level standard within the provisions of the Chapter 243, Section 3 of the Local Government Act, Chapter 215, as amended. So the petition signed by that is Nathan Nandala Mafabi, the Forum for Democratic Change Secretary General, and copied to the Bukedea District Returning Officer, demands that the Electoral Commission nullifies the candidature of a call since she did not present the required academic documents during the time of her nomination right there. And so Paul Bokenya, the Electoral Commission spokesperson, confirmed that the Commission has received the Forum for Democratic Change petition. He said they have invited all parties to their offices for a hearing tomorrow, which is today. And so this is something that you need to know in regards to the ongoing LT5 by-election for Bukedea right there. So dear viewer, you have to know that we are that is 12 minutes to the top of the hour of that is 15 minutes to the top of the hour of 9 a.m. right here on Western Television. And do not forget at exactly 9 a.m. Lugwarama Abi will be coming through with Maurice Rico. And so allow me to have a quick mention of some of the stories making headlines that is in the Daily Monitor. 1 million Ugandans suffer from that is the foodborne illness annually. That is according to the report that has been released. And then also drama at the Supreme Court over harm DTB loan case is also another and good story to be followed right there. And then locals hating Karamojong cattle rustlers say leaders, and so that is something that you need to know. And then concern as long-serving staff quit Kayunga Hospital is also another story in regards to health sector that long-serving staff has quitted Kayunga Hospital there. And then also 12 arrested in crackdown on wetlands and encroachers. And so remember, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni issued a very stern warning to the wetland encroachers to desist from encroaching on wetland. And then opposition MPs question Museveni public engagement despite contracting COVID-19 is also another big story right there. Landslide, Bugisa locals task government on fast relocation. And so that is something that you need to know. And then Museveni takes the forced leave after contracting COVID-19 is also another story that has really featured in the Daily Monitor today. Then new Uganda Revenue Authority campaign to reduce use of teens. And so I think this is so interesting. Let me get to understand this story better. You have to know that a new campaign launched by Uganda Revenue Authority, codenamed Mpa E Receipt Yange, geared to promote the issuance of electronic receipts and invoices, all will not require the final consumer to provide a tax identification number to the seller right there. So launching the campaign, Uganda Revenue Authority General, Commissioner General, that is John Musinguzi, said that it is intended to cultivate a culture of accountability and record keeping right there. Quoting him saying that it is a lame excuse for the seller to require a TIN from a buyer. A TIN for the final consumer is not necessary. However, for e-invoice, a TIN is required, he said right there. And so, according to him, electronic physical receipting and invoicing system, that is IFRIS, is a new smart business solution that is used to record business transactions and share information with the Uganda Revenue Authority in real time. It involves the use of e-invoicing through the Uganda Revenue Authority web portal and direct communication with the business transaction system, that is system-to-system connection, electronic physical devices, and electronic dispenser controllers to manage the issuance of e-receipts and e-invoice. Invoices right there. So he said these are two important ingredients for any business to succeed and any economy to develop. So we need to have accurate records for us, to know the growth of our business and for our consumers to know how much we are spending on what activity exactly. And so I think this is a very good one right there. So if we can adopt, I think it will really help the country a lot in regards to generating revenue that will really support different sectors of the economy right there. So dear viewer, let's get to that is the the New Vision this morning. What is happening in the New Vision, what stories have been captured in the New Vision is also what you need to understand this morning of Friday, 9th of June 2023, Heroes Day here in our country, Uganda, right there for you. And so for those who have dropped their comments in the comment section, if my producers will be able also to drop it, I will be able to sample one or two comments right there. And so in the New Vision that we have this morning for you, remember one story that has not also missed that is in the New Vision is about the issue of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, taking also that is forced leave right there. And so also another story that you need to know here, that UPDF flies in bodies of fallen soldiers and families start burials today, and you can get this story on page 3 right there. And so I have also been told that the body of the slain commander, that is Nyororo, will also be laid to rest right here in Aivu East Division, Arua City, right there for you. And also another story that has also not missed that is in the New Vision is the story of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba that is visiting the troops in Somalia. Is also another big story that we have in the New Vision today, Friday, right there for you. And so you can get yourself a copy of the New Vision, and you will be able to read more story right there for you. And so, dear viewer, I think it's 11 minutes to the top of the hour of 9 a.m. right on Westnile Television. On that is the issues to do with climate change. EU ambassador pledges to support climate change awareness in Uganda is also another good story that we have in the New Vision. And then you have to know that issues to do with the communities around Lake Albert tipped on plastic management is also another good one. When we are talking about environment, we need to really take care of the plastics that are being generated right there for you. And so also you have to know that Uganda to host high-level ministerial refugee conference, and I think the office of the Prime Minister will really play a very key role in this, because there is that docket of a refugee that is being headed by none other than that is Dr. Hilary Onek, who is the State Minister for Disaster and Refugees issues already. So some of the nations expected to attend the conference include Sudan, Uganda, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Democratic Republic of Congo right there for you. And so I think it's a good news for our country, Uganda. And then General Muhoozi Kainerugaba inspects UPDF bases in Somalia is also another story that you need to know. Then over 1.2 million candidates registered for 2023 examination is also another good story that you have to know. And then Museveni isolates as Nambanja takes charge is also another story. I think these are some of the headlines that are really making news in the dailies that we have in our country, Uganda, the Daily Monitor and the New Vision. And so these are the official papers that are really known. And so that is something that you need to know. As Nambanja Iron Sheets case flopped, you have to know that the Iron Sheets protesters case flops is also another story right there. So those who are protesting about the stolen Iron Sheets who were arrested, their case flopped yesterday, and the same applied also to the case of that is none other than Agnes Nandutu right there for you. And so let's get to know what is happening in the world of sports right there for you to know, and so that you get to understand what is happening that is in the world of sport right there for you. And so issues to do with tomorrow's game is a very serious one. Dear viewer, you have to know that tomorrow Manchester City will be taking on that is Inter Milan in the UEFA Champions League final right there. So the game will be played in Istanbul right there. So what has been going around is that Manchester City has been bragging that this time around the UEFA Champions League trophy will be going to them. And so we shall be waiting to see whether this will be the case, as they claim that they are ready to take the that is the UEFA Champions League champion trophy right there in Istanbul, where they're going to be taking on Inter Milan. And so all the way from they will be taking on Inter Milan at Istanbul. And so Manchester City will be traveling all the way from that is England to Istanbul right there. And so Xavi, Messi doesn't want pressure of a new Barca return. It's also another story that you need to know here that The player also admitted he was looking forward to enjoying his life more in Miami while still giving his all to his new side. And so Barcelona coach Xavi Hernandez said Thursday he understood Lionel Messi's desire to avoid the pressure of a return to the Lantern Giants this summer. And so that means that Messi, 35, announced Wednesday he will play at the American side Inter Miami in that is Major League Soccer after ending his 2-year spell at Paris Saint-Germain. And so the Argentine playmaker, a 7-time Ballon d'Or winner, had options to return to the Catalan club where he carved out his legacy, or take a mega-bucks move to Saudi Arabia right then. So quoting him saying that he hasn't had a good time in these 2 years in Paris, and how he doesn't want that type of pressure, Xavi said on Twitch. And so it is a personal decision, and the circumstances didn't help, but the decision is Leo's, and we have to respect it. He is the best in history. So Xavi said he had spoken a lot with Messi over the past few months, but he noticed a change over the past few days right there. So that is something to do with Messi for you, whether he will be able to continue playing. That is for Barcelona is also another story right there. So players are guaranteed to earn at least that is a 30,000 at Women's World Cup. Is also another one. Then Liverpool signed Argentine World Cup winner Mark Alister. I think for the Liverpool supporters it's a good news for you that Mark Alister has been signed. That is from the Argentine World Cup winner right there. And so you remember this gentleman Mark Alister is one of the key players that we have in this world, and he's one of those who contributed greatly to have the Argentina really taking on the World Cup right there. And then also another thing is that Opondo dropped again. Then you need to know that when delivers Euro title after 58 years. And then Haaland set to resign over Europe as Man City high historic treble is some of the stories that you need to know in Europe right there. Dear viewer, thank you very much for being with me up to this particular time here. And you have to know that it's 5 minutes to the top of the hour of 9 a.m. right here on Westnile Television. Catch me again next week on Monday for the program The KOKOLIRIKO Show live on Westnile Television. Up next is Lugbaramabi with Maurice Eriku, as he will be discussing cultural issues that you need to know in the Lugbara Cultural institution right here. Have the best of your time. May the good Lord bless you, and happy Heroes Day to those who have contributed greatly to the development of this country. Good morning.